by G Productions.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Feldcast.
What's going on, guys?
Podcast about nothing.
About nothing.
I'm here with my co-host, Fredo.
What's going on?
Alfredo Reyna. He wasn't on the camera last time. He is now.
Yeah.
But today we have a special guest, one of my good friends, one of Fredo's good friends, and I'd say a man of Christ, Chase Ruston. What's going on, man?
Another day is a blessed day, brothers.
Man.
Take 3, baby. Let's go.
This is our third time shooting it. We've had audio problems, but
We're blessed.
That's how God wants it to be, right, Chase?
Amen to that.
Amen.
I don't got to film a podcast. I get to film a podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, say that again for the people in the back.
I said I don't got to. I get to.
Bam. Bam. I like that.
It's all about the mindset.
I like that.
Man, tell me about your day so far. Like, what you literally done.
Literally done today.
Yeah, literally done before getting here.
You know, God woke me up. Ended up eating. First meal. Went to go work out. Luckily, the gym's right by Sewell. Jumped in there right quick. And
you got in Sewell again, bro?
Yeah.
I'm jealous, man.
The water to take a shower is not very cold at my house, so I just jump into that, you know?
Jump in Sewell, man.
And so that was beautiful.
Just clean off.
Yeah, just being by myself out there.
Dude.
It was pretty cool. And then had my Bible study, posted a couple TikToks, and
Okay.
and had a meeting. And
What's your
then
TikTok at?
I'm here.
What is your TikTok?
Mexican Ginger 25.
Yeah, go follow the man.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank you.
put it on the screen.
Yeah.
It'll be like, it'll like have a pop and everything.
Remember, I'm just a vessel.
He's just an instrument. But anyway, I wanted people to know who you are. I've gotten to know you over the past couple months. A lot better than I have over the past couple years. So tell us about yourself. What makes you, you?
I think it's all him. I'm saved by the blood. I'm saved by the blood of Christ. And now I'm just a disciple. I'm a vessel. Just like what you said, I'm an instrument. And if you would have told me that 2 years ago, if I was a little kid looking at myself 2 years ago or in high school in general, I would not recognize myself. And what the devil meant for bad, God meant for good. And I'm trusting him. I'm trusting his understanding rather than my own. And I'm just...
Proverbs 3:5.
Yep. Amen. And I'm just on a path of faith right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just a sinner trying to become righteous.
So what have you been
like that.
What have you been doing over these past couple months? Take us through your story, starting in college.
Starting in college. So we graduated all the same year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had a girlfriend. My told myself I wasn't going to get a girlfriend, man. But I ended up getting a girlfriend literally after December break of our senior year. So that's something else.
Yep. Now I'm engaged. I told myself that too. And
Oh my god.
because I was going to boot camp and I was like, I'm not getting a girl. I broke it off with my ex and then I got another one. I was like
right after.
Yeah.
But it was a blessing.
But yeah.
Because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have got through what I had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying, I didn't mean to interrupt.
But that's how he works, you know?
Yeah.
But ended up getting a girlfriend, and then to this day, I'm in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I only want the best for her, and I just hope she's happy. And go off to college, to Wharton Junior College for baseball, and that was always my dream. But not only that, as I had a girlfriend and was in love with her, and it was funny because expectations that going into college didn't match up with what was actually to reality. And literally 2 weeks in, we get a team meeting that's literally just all the guys kind of just talking down to me and talking about the way I play and just really not liking me in a sense. And so my 2 years there, I didn't have no friends at all.
Yeah.
And so the very first year at Wharton playing baseball, she was my rock, and she was those FaceTime calls and those texts and those calls is what I looked forward to, and that was the good part of my day. And after Christmas break had happened and now it's actual baseball season, I can remember the date, man. I ended up getting hurt. I ended up getting hurt playing baseball. And February 11th, she broke up with me out of nowhere after practice. And I remember, like, is this actually happening? Like, after everything we've been through, this is actually happening. And I couldn't believe it. Yeah. So I drove to her house 3 days after that. I ended up calling her mom. I was like, look, I have to talk to Taylor. I have to. Yeah. To find out for myself in person if she's actually real. And ended up being that she actually meant it. She felt like it was the best for both of us. Mm-hmm. And that's how that went. And it was definitely the darkest time of my life was right then, was her breaking up with me. And it was definitely sad and traumatizing, and it definitely put thoughts into my head that were not very good. And it was just a snowball effect. And of course I didn't have baseball at the time, and so I don't have nobody to talk to over there. And I can say that's when Jesus' hand first reached out to me. I felt like I didn't have no roommate. Nobody liked me. I wasn't talking to nobody. And I always had a Bible on my shelf. And he told me to pick up that Bible, and started picking up that Bible and started doing journaling and highlighting and stuff like that, and in his word, and all at the same time as my past. I always say it's a blessing and a curse all at the same time. And I'm curious about everything and anything, and I want to know the ins and outs of it. And I definitely got myself into opening up a life that I shouldn't have opened up. Mm-hmm. And I got into a lot of drugs, and I got into a lot of dark things that at the time I knew that it was wrong, but I was running from reality. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what to cope with. And I started all that in high school, but then it led me into college, and especially after she broke up with me, I got all into it, and I'm not playing baseball. I don't have nobody to talk to, and so it just snowball effect. Yeah. And it definitely took a toll on me. Mm-hmm. And all that had happened, but all at the same time as I'm reading the Bible, trying to develop a relationship with him. And I was contradicting myself. I was a hypocrite. Mm-hmm. You know, I was worshiping two masters all at the same time. And if you do that, your life will be led to destruction. And that's where my life was. I was at rock bottom, and I believe that is my rock bottom. Mm. And then COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, I was thinking, yes, I'm back, baby. I'm back in my home, back underneath the same roof with my family. I'm with my friends. I didn't have no baseball, didn't have no friends over there, didn't have no girlfriend over there. So let me go back over here. And I just thought it was going to be beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
That was the total opposite. Expectations never match up. And that's what happened is when I was underneath the same roof as my kin, as my blood, that's when I felt the most alone. That's when I felt like my life didn't mean anything. That's when I felt like I'm ready to go. This is it. And that's when he reached out again. And I told myself I needed to stop. I needed to stop doing drugs. I needed to stop living for the world and start actually developing a relationship with Jesus. And
how hard is that?
Oh, it's hard, man. Especially when you see going from one life to another life, trying to not do the norm, you know? Literally being the black sheep, not doing anything of what you see the world doing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You're going against the odds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard, but you gotta pick up your cross. You have to pick up your cross. And I feel like that is the most strength that anybody, if you pick up your own cross, I will give you respect. But until you do that, and until you give your life to him, you don't have the balls. You don't have the balls.
Yeah.
Because then that's when it turns you into humble. That's when it turns you in righteous. That's when it turns you into loving. That's when you start seeing life at a different perspective because you are with him. And it's not you. It truly isn't you. Just like what I've said, I'm a sinner trying to be righteous, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that by myself. It's all him. And he shows you that life is way more stronger. If you are, tell me this, if somebody is trying to manipulate a situation and you're defeating them with kindness, what does that do to them?
It shows them.
It puts weeping coals on their thoughts, on their mind, because you're going against the norm. You can't put fire out with fire. You got to put it out with water, man.
Yeah.
And it says like, in Jesus, he is the light. He is the truth, and he is the way. There is no darkness inside of him. And so the way that he defeated darkness, and especially, I mean, I'm dark. At my root, I'm dark, you know? But you have to fight that with the light. And that's what he did when he died on the cross.
So you pick up your cross. Then what?
You obey him.
Where are you now? That's what I'm asking where you're at in your life.
I'm obeying.
Yeah.
I'm not relying on my understanding no more. I'm relying on him. I think we have to do that.
So
because he has the perfect path for each one of us. The most perfect path. We may think we know it. And that's what I feel like each time with me, when stuff starts to get a little bumpy, I'm relying on me. And I'm something of this world. But I'm trying to be something not of this world. And that's with him. So I have to obey. And I have to take leaps of faith.
So it was around COVID, right?
Yeah.
Where you headed next? What happened next?
COVID happened, and I was just, this is my freshman year, you know, baseball's not happening. They canceled the season, and I'm still living for the world. at that time,
Mm-hmm.
still in drugs, still into worldly things, into human nature, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I said I always had that thought in the back of my mind, hey, I gotta quit. I gotta actually commit.
Mm-hmm.
I have to commit. That's not my thought. That's him. He kept on telling me, I have to quit. I never did by myself.
If you rely on yourself, you're never gonna quit.
Mm-mm.
It's
Mm-mm.
when you rely on him, you make that change, and you see it. Like it's hard. Whatever you're trying to get off of, you change and you. But looking back on it, was it like? Would you change it? Would you making that switch?
I wouldn't change nothing. In my entire life, I wouldn't change nothing. Nothing.
So what was that moment that? Because there's a moment that you just know it changes, bro. There's that moment where you're just like, oh man.
Mine literally happened with Mike the other day at the park when we were talking.
You can just breathe after, like that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, at the park.
Yeah, when I changed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it was like that, and then like I feel so much better now. I changed with you. I changed with my family, and then with my fiance, and like, cause I was going through all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just telling Mike, like I need to fucking change, dude. Like this is not working, and I started relying on him,
Dude.
and like this whole week has been like everyone has recovered from COVID. Like once I started relying on him and not my what I wanted, everything has just been like better, not perfect but better, right? Like my sister's getting married this Friday. No one has COVID anymore. My grandma beat COVID. Mom's pops beat COVID. Like everything is just like, and I don't live with them, so I don't have it. But like, you know what I mean? Like everything was just like, everything worked out.
Yeah.
I was trying to rely on myself and do everything I wanted to do, and you know
what's crazy
didn't work.
Is when I took that day off and I went to go power wash with you, and you told me, you're like, hey, I think you need to communicate with Fredo. I'm like, it hurt me. I was like, dang. I was like, but he's right. Because me and Fredo got plans. We got things we're going to do, and we need to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And we weren't. And we just sat down and started talking. I'm like, yo, we need a plan. And that's, I guess, that's what
I
helped you
like
out.
laid out the plan, and then like we went from talking about business to just talking about life. And I was just like, you know how like you can think all this shit, but like once you say it out loud, you know what I mean? You manifest, right? And I told him like I needed to tell a soul, and he was that person. And obviously you told him to come to, right? But was it you or was it him? See what I'm saying? Like he works through people, bro. Like it's crazy. And the fact that you did that, like, thanks, bro. Because, dude, he could tell you, bro. I was not having it. Like it was not a good time at all, bro. At all.
Like I remember you just coming to work. You're like, I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
And like you were joking around, but like still, like you weren't.
Yeah.
I was like, because you like took off. You're like, man, I'm not here.
Yeah.
My mind's in 2,000 different places. And then you had that that one lady with the terrible level kit.
Yeah, bro. Like it was just like everything that could go wrong was going wrong. Whether it was me, whether it was my family. Like everyone was hurt in my family. My brother got in a motorcycle accident.
Mm.
His knee's like the size of a watermelon. It's huge, bro. And then like he has road rash. Thank God he's fine. Like he's good. Everyone got COVID. Like my whole family got COVID. First it was like my tias and my grandma, and then like my household got it. And then it was just like, you know, I was having troubles with my fiance, and I was also having troubles with myself. Like everything was just like, right? And I told Mike, I was like, bro, life is shitting on me. And then later that night we were talking, I was like, remember how I told you life was shitting on me? He's like, yeah. I was like, nah, it's God testing me. He's testing me. because I was relying on my own will.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him the same. Like, it was weird. I told him, like, I need to change, right? And then I go home, have a conversation with my fiance, and I told her the same thing. Like, I need to change. Broke down. I need to change. Like, this isn't working out. Like, it's not gonna last. Not a relationship. The way I'm working.
Carrying yourself.
Yeah. I was like, this isn't gonna work out. I'm changing, like, right now. Like, so tomorrow or like this instant is that you're not gonna be with the same. I remember she told me I want the Fredo that I fell in love with back. She told me that like a few months ago, and I was like, I'm gonna be that guy again, because I had developed this ugliness, this evil of like, it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Like, even with Mike. And I was like, nah. And I had been telling myself, like you said,
What?
You know what I mean? Like, in my head, I had been telling myself, you need to change. But I never took action, right? Because I had been in that battle of, like, no, I'm going to do it my way. No, I'm going to do it my way. No, it's my way. No, it's my way. And God was like, yeah, that's not going to work. Let me show you. And I had to humble myself and be like, yeah, I'm wrong. Unfortunately, I'm wrong. So, you know what? Let me just try God's route. And it worked. Like, everything is like beautiful now, dude. Like, it's crazy. And it literally happened like that. And then now we're doing this podcast, which is crazy. Like,
dude, that's the thing. Chase was asking about the podcast. I called you.
and I had kept on, like, I'm going to be straight up with you, bro. I had kept on, like, pushing it away. Like, I was like, when I was in my own, whatever the fuck Fredo's doing, I was like, nah, I don't want to do the podcast. I don't want to do the podcast. And he had the grace to tell me, like, he didn't want to do the podcast without me. Like, he could have just set this up, done this shit himself, right? But he had the grace to tell me, like, I don't want to do the podcast without you. And that's what, like, kind of led up, right? And then I had my breaking point, and that's when everything changed. And I hit him up. I was like, hey, let's do this. Let's film this. Let's get it done. Like, I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, just on Saturday, you're just like, I'm from the podcast. I'm like, really? I'm like, really?
Yeah.
For me? My birthday was Sunday too, so it was like kind of a birthday present. I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm
Because I know
20.
he'd been asking me, and like he said, my mind was in 2,000 different places. So like when he asked me, I would just be like, whenever, bro. We'll do it sometime. Like, I would never give him a definite response, and I know that was pissing Mike off. It would piss me off. I'd be like, fuck you. But like, he never got that way. He was gracious with me, right? He was patient, and so I was like, you know what? You know, everything happened, and I was like, my way's not working, so let me try God's. And dude, I wouldn't change anything. Like, being humbled, like stripping myself of like my ego and my pride,
Mm.
it was like one of the hardest things ever. But it's like beautiful on the other side. You know what I'm saying? It's awesome.
I feel that.
Yeah.
All glory to God.
Yeah.
Man,
We have to.
that's all there is, man. That's all there is to it. But let's get back to you. Where were you at in your story?
I believe.
Hey, Nikki, that one's about to turn off. Just hit record again. All right, yeah, just hit the red button. Sorry, we're resetting the cameras so they don't die out on us. So, I remember the last thing I heard was, tell us about the time you got hit in the eye. Just start there.
So we're in our sophomore year. And it was the very last game before regionals
College baseball.
of college baseball. Not knowing at the time that was going to be my last game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I had in my mind that I'm going to go walk on somewhere. It was always Texas State or Sam Houston. I'm going to go walk on. Because that was always the dream. I got to keep it going. I got to keep the fire going.
Mm-hmm.
And got hit in the eye, and luckily I wore glasses, and it took most of the blow, and ended up getting sent home. Luckily, it caught most of my nose. I think it kind of bounced off the glasses and went into my nose, and so ended up getting all that had happened. Ended up driving back home after that game and having to go to the doctor the very next day. Doctor said it was okay. Luckily, it wasn't 1 more centimeter, or I would have had to have surgery. And ended up calling coach and basically saying that I'm all clear to go and ready for regionals now. And he told me, hey, look, it's all up to you and your family. Y'all discuss it over and actually see if y'all are comfortable with playing. And so I literally get off of that phone call, and it's like a voice that's inside of you consciously. And that voice came to me and basically said, you can keep on playing baseball and you can go with your team Friday and play regionals, or you can get a head start. And right there, I knew right there I had to do this. No matter what was going on, I had to do this. And of course it didn't get resolved over one conversation with my parents about what was actually going down, but I told them I got what I needed from school, and I got what I needed for baseball. And everything that I've learned from my past and from my experiences, I'm ready for this new chapter. And I have to lean on God's understanding rather than my own. And
which is the slogan for the business you run. Is that correct?
I would say not my business, but I'm a vessel. So
what's the name of the business? What do you do? What are you all about?
It's Proverbs 3:5 pressure washing.
Mm-hmm.
And all that had got consumed, and I didn't know what was going to be my path at the time. And next thing you know is he's planted seeds from individuals saying, and my dad has always said, make your own way, because he wished he had of. Yeah. He wished he would have started a business. And he didn't want me to live like that. Yeah. And because I give it all to my family. I give it all to him first, but my family for even letting me be where I am today because of their sacrifices, because of their investment in my sister and I. I mean, my dad, I think that man gets up like at 3:45 and goes to work. You know, it's just every single day for 20 plus years already. And I just think about that every single day. Like, that man literally does that. And you think, I mean, he doesn't want to do that. I mean, come on, who wants to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
He does it out of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's all that had happened. And it was kind of hard. I'm not going to lie. Because I've spent a lot of nights staying awake thinking about the decision and if it was actually right or not, because of people that have talked to me and people that I've discussed this is the position that I'm in now. I was going to college for 2 years, and then next thing you know, I'm back home. And people ask you, oh, are you still going to school? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, what type of... The traditional way of thinking and what sets you up for success... You have
to go to school.
Sets you up for success
and, you have to play by these...
Is that.
I hate that, bro.
So you definitely get some
Dude, I would hate that question. I'd be working at the Chinese restaurant, and I'd see some people I know, and they're like, "Oh, you going to school?" "No, I'm making music. I'm a musician." They're like, "Oh, okay."
And they always kind of turn
Yeah,
their
they-
nose up at you like,
Like, okay,
you're not following society. Go to
should be
school.
going to school. Well,
Or I'm better
I,
than you.
I hate that, bro. Like, if I ever see someone that's not going to school, I'm like, do you, bro? Oh, you want to do welding? Or you want to do mechanics? Do you, bro?
Yeah.
Go for it. Because we need those people right now. Everyone's going to school and they're getting McDonald's jobs. Not that if you have a job at McDonald's, it's bad, but what I'm saying is, like, you spend all this money, you get into all this debt, just to be back at square one. For what? Oh, to have the experience of I went to school and to put that piece of paper up on your wall. What does that do for you? Right? Go out and get some learning experience. Right? Get your hands dirty. That's way better to me. And I know to everyone in this room. I'm more of a hands-on guy. Right? I learn hands-on. So me getting behind the camera, I learn hands-on. Right? You could send me to film school all day and I'd probably just, okay. And all the great filmers are like, yeah, everyone who went to film school is kind of their tools. Because you're setting yourself up for failure. You know what I mean?
I would say to an extent. I would say, like, if you're going to school for, like,
yeah,
being
Obviously,
a
if you're going to be like a
lawyer
lawyer
and a
then,
doctor
yeah,
and
my
stuff.
sister's going to school to be a doctor.
Yeah.
So, like, but you have that gift. It, like, my parents were always like, no, son, you're going to school. No, son, you're going to school. I don't have the gift to go to school. I can't sit here and study and, like, ace these tests, bro. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
My sister can. She has the gift. And my sister can't take photos like I can. My sister can't operate a drone like I can. I can't sit here and read wavelengths like this man can. Does that make sense? Everyone has their own gift. So for me to, like, oh, well, I have to go to school because, no. Obviously, if you need to go to school, go to school. If you're going to be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, yeah, go to school. Because I don't think you're going to do that without, you're not just going to walk on to St. or Seton's doctor staff, because that doesn't work like that. But if you feel called not to go to school and you want to do something that's, you know,
a little more entrepreneurial,
yeah,
go for it.
like my boy Chris, he owns Two Blessed. He went to school. So, like, okay, he went to school, got his degree, and then he went to barber school. He doubled up. There's nothing wrong with that. So now he owns the business, right? And he has his barber license as well. But then you got my boy Eric. He went to school, dropped out, like you did, and started his own business. And he owns a shop now. You got two different ways of doing it. Pick one, right?
And I think you really did get a head start, man. You know, because if you spent another year there, you wouldn't be here, you know?
Yeah.
But tell us, you were quitting. People were telling you, you're still going to school. What'd you do after you left school?
I was lost. I was lost, man. I didn't know what to do. And I was doing this thing, and it was I Am Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing that, and that's the whole reason I felt like I felt like God positioned that in my life at that point of time.
That really brought me towards you, you know?
Yeah.
That attracted me towards you because we attract what we are. And I saw this spirit. I saw your spirit in, like, the way you were marketing yourself. And you were being very, you're putting yourself out there. And I like that.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
wow.
how we became friends.
Yeah. You put yourself out there, and I saw that. So I reached out. I was like, what is this? Granted, it was a little pyramid scheme, but hey, it brought us together, you know?
Yeah.
So I see that as a plus, man.
I see it all as a plus. I mean, I see it all pretty good, and of course I knew what was actually going behind the curtain, but I didn't feel like I was dealing with those people head on.
Mm-hmm.
And what we had was beautiful, and I wouldn't take it back. I wouldn't change anything, because I learned a lot of crucial points in business.
And it did you take that and run with your new business venture, which is Proverbs 3:5, correct?
Yes, sir.
And tell me how did you use what you learned from I Am Academy and translate it into your own business?
You have to put yourself out there. If you don't put yourself out there, and if you're comfortable with where you're at, you won't do anything. I feel like you won't do anything substantially successful in this life. Mm-hmm. And you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. And so I definitely learned that. I definitely learned, I believe, how to talk to people and how to run Zoom calls and how to
I remember seeing your videos, and me and Mike would be like, "Hey, you see this guy Chase, bro? Like, look at this. He's over here marketing. Like, we could use him for Feld, like, to talk about Feld." And then, like, I didn't really know what you were talking about, right? I just saw that the way you were coming at me, right? It was just like, it grabbed my attention.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, he could be like a spokesperson for something, or right? And I mean, Mike just hit me up one day and was like, "Yo, Chase has this power washing business. We should film a video." And I was like, "Okay." Right? I was like, "Okay." I looked at it as, this is the time that I was on my high horse, right? I looked at it as, what's in it for me? What am I getting out of this? Right? I was like, I asked him, I said, "Is he paying us?" And he was like, "No, he's gonna power wash my house." So I was like, "Okay, so we're not getting paid. All right, cool." Right? That was the like asshole Fredo sitting there like thinking like everything was just numbers, right? But then you take a step back, look at it, and I realized I learned a lot from you in the, what was it, like 3 days we worked on the shoot, and even just talking here, the 3 times we shot this, right?
Yeah.
I've learned a lot in the sense that not everything is for numbers. Not everything is for, like, I'm not just sitting here wasting time, right? This is it's learning. I learned a lot about the drone. I learned a lot about shots. I learned about, audio outside when we're filming, right? So, not everything has to be for a payment. The payment is learning. So that way when you go and you charge someone, you've already learned.
Yeah.
You know what to do, and now you can take payment, right? To progress your business. So, I mean, just having you shout out Mike for asking to film. Like, at first I'm not even gonna lie, I was salty. I was like, why am I doing this? I was like, what? Why am I doing this? Right?
I had to force you into it. Dude.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to.
Come on, man.
I was like,
what is this?
I was like, I was on a trip about we need to get paid. Like, we need to get paid. Like, the whole thing about getting paid, bro. And looking back on it, I was like, okay, you were wrong. You were totally wrong. Your payment right now is wisdom, learning. Like, just learn. Get behind the damn camera and learn, bro. Like, just stop complaining. So,
yeah.
And that was God telling me, you want to do this? Do it. Stop worrying about the numbers. You have equipment. Just do it, right? The equipment will come. The money will come later. You need to get behind the camera and do it, right?
Before we keep on talking, I'm going to pause this real quick.
But you're not going to. You're going to get paid a different way,
Yeah.
which is the learning experience.
It's all about doing it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, are we
It's-
back?
Yeah, we're back now.
Okay.
But I really do believe like
Am I recording? Oh yeah.
yeah, we're all recording. Yeah, but
Perfect.
I find any opportunity to do something like, and I do it.
Like all the made men in, I don't want to be a made man in Hollywood, but all the guys who have made it are saying like, what I've seen and what I've read is like, get your reps in. Of course, everyone, you want to be a director, I understand. You want to be a writer, cool. You want to be a producer, yeah. You want to be an actor, cool. Get your reps in. Be a grip. Hold a boom. Be a boom mic guy. Like just get in there. So for me to just get in there, and do it and have fun and experience things, man, that's the best form of payment there is, man. Because then you just pay it forward. You know what I'm saying?
You're doing what you love, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's if you're doing what you love. And
Yeah.
as long as
Like this,
You're doing
I
it.
realized that like if I'm behind the camera, dude, you don't have to pay me. Like I'm doing what I love, so I would do this for free. Payment is like an add-on. If you don't love the craft, you're always looking for that payment, right? But if you just take a step back and really think about it, the payment will come with the love of the craft. Like I said the other day, everything's an art. If you love the art, the payment will come later. Like don't worry about it. Just do the art. Focus on the art. Once you like stray away from the art and it becomes too businessy, that's how where it gets hard. Where you gotta balance that, like the business and the art side. But always take that art like with a little bit more, because there's always the next generation looking up to you. And I'm looking up to the generation before me. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
And they're the role models, but we're the role models for the next ones. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's just always like being aware of like, hey, you got people looking up to you. Like I got my little cousin. He told my aunt that he wants to be like me with all the camera stuff. And like, dude, I almost started crying. Like I was like, I'm nobody, right? But like the fact that he said that, because he writes stories. He said Walt Disney is one of his like inspirations. And I'm like, man, like that's great. He's like, I want to be like Fredo. I'm just like, now I'm like, okay, I got, it's more than just money, bro. It's like, it's about like doing it for your family, for the next gen. That's what pushes me, and that's the why. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
Like, I speak for myself, but like, man, that can take you a long way, for sure.
when it's bigger than yourself,
Yeah.
that's the only way you can get through like anything. If you have a reason bigger than yourself.
Yeah. So what is the future looking at? Like what is Chase looking at? And then but also tell us what Proverbs 3:5, what are you trying to do with both your personal life and business wise?
I kind of feel like it intertwines with both in
Yeah.
a sense, my personal and my business life. I feel like that's truly me. Whatever I do in the business, that's truly me.
Yeah.
And I'm letting him make all the decisions, man. Truly. Like
Yeah.
I know that's kind of a boring answer, but
No, I'll take
that's it.
Yeah.
Like I'm letting him dictate what move I need to do, who I need to talk to, and he'll align everything. If it's part of his path, he'll align everything. I just have to stay in the word, and I have to be knowledgeable
Yeah.
about.
I think Chase is too present to even know what the future is like, man.
Yeah.
Dude, you're the most present person I know, dude. For
Really?
real. Yeah.
Like I think what he's saying is like we have 100% Chase 100% of the time. because I know I'm not present at all. Like I'm always like worrying about the future, and Mike can attest to this. Like he'll be talking to me, I'm just like, what? I'm like, wait, run it back because I didn't even hear what you were just saying. And he's like, I said, and he'll say, and I feel bad, but I'm thinking about something else, or I'm thinking about another problem I got to deal with.
Yeah.
Another fire I got to put out.
Don't get me wrong, like all these thoughts just keep on going, and it's definitely kind of just, I think that's where I've gone wrong, and I've learned from my experiences that I need to live in the present. Like whatever he has in the future, like it will be done, but I have to live for right now to get to where he wants me to be in the future. And so my thoughts race, and it's definitely a spiritually battle because we are supposed to live in the present. And I definitely steer away from that. And I kind of don't want people to see that part of me because I do think about the future. And I'm not going to lie, I get worried about the future, but I have to stay right now because if I'm not present right now, I cannot get to where he wants me in the future.
I guess the question I want to end this off on is, out of life, what do you regret most so far? Because we all have one regret. We all have regrets. And we can all make a decision to stop having regrets. But what is your biggest regret?
Not living for Christ earlier. And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap. That's it.
That's it.
Just cut.
Actually not living out Proverbs 3:5. Actually not living it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, the only regrets... I don't have any regrets from what I haven't done. More so what I have done, you know? That makes me very happy. I'm glad I regret something I did, rather than something I didn't do. So that's how I see that. I just wanted to ask. What's your biggest regret, Fredo?
Probably coming home and thinking I was hot shit.
I remember that.
Like that whole phase was not fun. It was fun. But like you said, it was a humbling experience, and it took till like literally right now in my life to realize. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm glad I realized it now, and I'm such a young guy. So like I have time to fix it and adjust and adapt and overcome. Like, but yeah, I wouldn't have, if I knew what I know now, I would have told him like, hey, be humble, dog. Like you're no better than the next guy.
Yeah.
You're not Mr. Big Shit. You're an equal. I see myself as an equal now. Like I've always been. But like I put myself on this pedestal, and I was saying like, I'm above you, Michael, and I'm above Isaac and Evan and all these people. Like I'm this guy. No. Like we were having a group chat this morning, and we were talking. I told Evan he's studying what is it, like business marketing, something like that. Consulting, something with business, right?
I think you said sports retail marketing or something.
Something like that, retail marketing, whether it be in store and online. And I told him, hey, whenever Feld Collective makes it, you're gonna come work with us. And he's like, yeah, I'm more than happy to work for you. And I was like, nah, work with us. You're gonna work with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a difference.
Yeah,
there is.
Like if you're working for me, that's totally different. Like no, Evan, you're working with me, bro.
Like if you're working for me, it's different. It just is.
There's this whole like construct of I'm either below you or I'm above you, and there's like that's when you get problems. Like I'm working with Michael now.
Yeah.
I had the assumption that I was like Michael was working for me, which was never the case. I was just a dumbass.
Actually, I take that back. I don't think there is a difference.
What?
Like, if you're working with me or you're working for me. I think it should all be we're working together. No matter if you have a different pay than I do, you know, or I think that's where the best businesses thrive, is that it's a team effort rather than a couple of individuals. Because everybody has a task.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you set that or if you say, I want to get your input on this, you take your pride out of it and you ask this person right here, that makes them, hey, this guy actually
Cares.
Yeah.
People want to work for you now.
Yeah. So,
with you.
And it's almost inspirational. Like, this guy actually wants me to have my input.
Like, I don't want, whenever Feld Collective is a
thing,
a brand, like it's a well-known established brand, I don't want, my biggest fear is for people to be like, oh, Fredo's the man. You know what I mean? Like, every business has the man. Like, Fredo's the man. Like, I'm scared to talk to Fredo because he's the man. I don't want that at all, bro. Like, I want to be as humble as possible and be like, okay, yeah, I did, you know, me and Mike did start this, but like, whoever you are, if you're an accountant with us, if you're a salesman, whatever you're doing with us, you can talk to me, bro. Like, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean?
It's a team.
Yeah. Like, I don't want
everybody's
you to be like,
input.
oh, I'm nervous because, you know, hey, that Michael? I don't want to talk to him. You know what I mean? I don't want that at all. Like,
but tell me this though. If y'all wouldn't have crossed paths, which I don't know how y'all crossed paths in the first place. I think it may be him.
Oh yeah, that was
you
him.
know. And then it put the idea in why y'all love this so much. You know, like, we're just all vessels at the end of the day. That's my understanding.
No, yeah, you're right.
And this is the last question, but how did y'all actually meet?
Well, we met in like 6th grade. When I moved over here, but we met. Was it like a 10th or 11th grade?
It was junior year
in health class. Shout out, Mr. Coach Finch.
Coach Finch. What the hell, man?
I sat down, and I was always like an outcast. Giannotti here was always on the football team, so it was like two polar opposites, right? But he talked to me, and he was saying how he liked my YouTube stuff. I had just started, me and Evan just started working on the YouTube with magic. I started with like card tricks and stuff like that. And he was like, hey man, I like what you're doing. And I had heard about his music, but I never paid attention to it. So when he told me that, I was like, you know what, let me hear this guy. Let me check it out, right? And I checked it out. I was like, oh, it's not that great, but I'm not gonna bullshit here. Like, I was like, it's not that great, but I like how he's pursuing, because I was in the same boat. My videos were not great at all, but I was pursuing something. I had a passion.
Come on.
Like, I could see the passion in his work, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, we kind of cut from the same cloth here when it comes to that. Like, obviously, I was just over here like, wow, this guy's on the football team. Why is he talking to me? Right? But
for real?
Yeah, I was like, Michael Giannotti's talking to me. What the fuck?
I thought we were just
because
cool.
you guys, like, I thought you guys were like, I was always an outcast. Like, I was just like,
that's what I hate, dude.
Everyone just kind of like blew me to the side, and the reason I started magic was to be more in the crowd, and I accidentally, you know, kind of ostracized myself even more, because who the fuck does magic? Like, who's over here doing card tricks? Like, nobody's doing card tricks, and I'm over here like, pick a card, like a pendejo. So like, for me, I shot myself in the foot, and I was trying to be popular. I was like, oh, if I do magic tricks and people are gonna love me, I'm gonna get all these girls. I didn't get any women. I didn't get any friends except for this guy. And like,
Except for me.
oh, and Evan was my boy. Like, we were forced to be friends. Like my dad and his mom were like, "Hey, y'all are gonna play basketball," and so we just started being friends. But with this guy, it was just like, I remember he invited me over for the first time. I was sitting in the room. I was sitting in this room.
This room right here.
And he was playing beats for me. And I felt like some type of like, I was sitting like right here, and he's over here playing beats or whatever. Just like lights, it's like super like, just
Yeah,
how you would
this
like
used
a
to be my
studio,
room.
right? And I was like, yeah, fuck with this guy. We're gonna do something later. Like, I don't know what it is, but we're gonna start a business. We're gonna do something like collab maybe, and then we've had our fair shares of like disputes. We've had our fair shares of like fuck yous, but we're brothers now.
We
like,
always agreed to disagree, and that's probably the healthiest thing we ever did, if I'm being honest.
yeah, like we always. I don't know how to put it, man. We always were like,
No.
it wasn't us. That's why I don't know how to put it. It was
Oh,
him.
come on. Oh, come on.
He was like keeping us together, bro. Like whenever I was in my own head, right, being an asshole, and he was in his own head being an asshole, we would clash, right? And you know what I'm talking about? Like start of 2020, that was awful. Like,
Oh, Jesus.
like we were like about to just be like, fuck you. Like I was like, I literally remember texting him being like, you can have Feld, bro. Fuck this shit. And
I was
then
just
like
saying-
something happened and we started hanging out again. It was beyond me. Because if it was somebody else, bro, I'd have been like, yeah, fuck this guy. But it was Mike, bro. I was like, bro, this is my guy. Like,
I don't have any other friend.
yeah, I was like, you know how like Isaac has that other friend group?
Yeah.
And there's nothing
Me-
wrong with that.
no.
But I never had another friend group. Like, it was just either Mike or nothing. Evan, I knew Evan was just like, he's going to college. I knew Mike was going to stay here and do something. Like, I was like, it's either Mike or nothing, bro. Like, not to say like, oh, I don't have any options. Like, I could have easily been like, Fredo, you can do this shit yourself. But no, something higher than me was like, shut the fuck up for a second and just listen. Like to him, right? And he was like, your differences don't matter. Go over to him and apologize because I said some outlandish shit. And I was like, hey, bro, I'm sorry. Right? And we made it work. Like
Dude, wait. Because there's been plenty of times where we're just sitting in your car and it's just like eye-opening, clarifying.
it was like whenever I told you about all the guys coming to me.
Oh, that one.
And they
Yeah.
were like, hey, Michael's doing this. Or can you tell? And I was kind of like, why the fuck are y'all telling me? Why don't y'all just tell Michael?
That was actually like a year ago.
They told me, oh, it's because we were scared of him.
They were scared of me, man.
We don't know how
Where?
to tell Mike.
Man, here's the thing. At that point in time, I was in a weird place.
You're on your MLM shit.
I wasn't on my... I was on my... I was trying to get them to think the way I thought. I was
Who are
trying...
you talking about? Like your group?
The whole group.
Yeah,
Fredo.
yeah, Feld. Like he was trying to.
I don't
Okay.
know what I was...
He was pushing an agenda.
I was. It was very...
MLM.
I don't know what happened, man.
That was a joke. That was
Yeah.
that was a joke, bro. Like, I'm being an ass man. That was just a joke.
But that's how it was, and I didn't see it like that. And like, Fredo's like, man, like he showed me like his perspective, and he's like, bro, like, he was like, what the hell are you doing?
Like
In a
honestly,
sense.
bro, it was so hard for me to like get him in my car and tell him like, dude, you're wrong. I had never done this before in my life, right? Like, I'd never done this to anybody, for anyone. Like, I'd never said anything like this ever. And I was like, dude, what are you doing, bro? And, like, how uncomfortable that was. You have to go through those uncomfortable stages to get to a comfortable stage where now it's just like we're both on the same page of, hey, if I'm getting off somewhere, Mike's going to be like, what are you doing, bro? Or, yeah, no, you're not doing that. And I'm not gonna take it up the ass like, well, fuck you, Michael. No, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna sit on it and be like, yeah, maybe he's right. Even how, like, no matter how bad it hurts or whatever, like, no one cares. Like, this is business now. Like, it's, if you really love the craft, you're gonna put your feelings to the side, and you're gonna take care of the craft, the business. Like, it started, like, I want it to start to be bigger than us, and we gotta focus on, like, okay, who cares about my feelings? We need to make art here. You know what I mean? We got stuff to make, because this could help so and so. Like, we put out art, and it could be like, you know what? Maybe I want to lose weight today. A good message, right? Or you know what? Maybe I love life. Maybe life's good. Maybe I should turn to the Lord. Like everything that I'm saying right now is like mirrored in our art. I would say my art, but he helped me with it, so it's our art. It's Feld. It's mirrored in it.
It's your art, bro. It's everyone's art. We're all one. I think we should end it off. It's getting kind of long. That was a good podcast. But
I enjoyed it.
It's been the Feldcast, the podcast about nothing.
Don't stop.
I'm your host, Fredo Reyna.
I'm
This
your
is
host,
Mike G.
Mike G Productions.
And it was a pleasure having you, Chase.
Chase,
It was my honor.
give
Thank
him
y'all.
one last tagline.
Give him a one-liner to just think about.
Ponder.
Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
Cut.
Amen.